great to have you with us, everybody. It is nice to have you here. Thank you so very much for joining us. I am your host, Jim Masters. And I tell you, it is a breath of fresh air when we get a chance to get together, isn't it? It is 7 p.m. Eastern here live right now at our broadcast center, which is the home studio. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. We are now in week number 5, the second day of week number 5. Isn't that hard to believe? 5 weeks have gone by already, and we've had so many amazing shows, so many great conversations, so many spectacular segments, so many amazing guests, fun segments, music and food, and we've gone on location. This show is an entertainment lifestyle talk show that, again, I put together about 5 weeks ago. I work in the industry in television and radio as a host and journalist, actor, and voiceover, narrator, stage MC, and more, writer, producer. A lot of people ask me to put a show like this together for years, but I've always been so busy, you know, on TV shoots and in studios and everything. And we've had some time, haven't we all, to create various things. So we put this together, and I thank you and you and you and everybody for all of the love and the support. We're having a ball putting these shows together, a lot of work behind the scenes, preparing and formatting and getting everything all together for the actual broadcast. But I tell you, it's a lot of fun. And with the support in terms of just watching and everybody sharing the links, and everybody's having watch parties, and we're getting people from around the world who are discovering the Jim Masters Show live. And I really appreciate that. All across the United States and Canada, we've heard from Europe, we've heard from Asia, we've heard from Australia. And that really moves my heart because, again, we're touching lives because this show is very positive. I say the show is all about light, levity, and love. That's right. Light, levity, and love. And empowering, inspirational. There's a lot of funny moments as well. Deep conversations. We really touch upon it all. That's what a true entertainment lifestyle talk show is all about. You have a sprinkling of a lot of different things. So when you tune in, it isn't the same old, same old. We have a lot of different things that we do here. Now, as you know, we have to do this because everybody wants us to do this. Here is my sidekick, George Burns. Again, I had him on the Nostalgic Week a couple of weeks ago, and everybody said, keep him on the show, keep him on the show. So there's your George Burns. You know, with all the chaos going on in the world right now, I think smiling at George Burns will maybe put an extra smile on your face that will linger as George Burns is lingering here with his cigar and his glasses. And of course, we've got Jeannie. Again, the show is all about light and levity, trying to put smiles on your faces. Jeannie's still here. The hair salons are still closed. She hasn't been able to get out of that bottle. So she won't come out. I'm telling you, she's actually in there, but she won't come out because, again, she's not happy that the hair hasn't been done. And unfortunately, she lost her powers because she's been quarantined in this bottle since March. Maybe you can see her in there. Maybe she'll blink at you. You okay in there, Jeannie? Yes, master. And of course, with some light and levity here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, this is all by popular demand. Our viewers want to have all the cast of characters. I was on that TV shoot, and this came from Switzerland. We were on a TV shoot in Europe, and we picked up this fantastic canine. This is Silver, and Silver says hello. I must sometimes feel like I'm doing a children's show. Because again, we have all these cast of characters, but again, we could use this right now. We need some smiles, we need some levity, we need some distraction, not obviously a total distraction from reality, but we got to take a breath and we've got to, you know, breathe and smile. So if this doesn't put a smile on your face, little Jimmy here, the clown that was a childhood toy made of porcelain, he says hello. Yes, there you go. Now everybody's happy because if I don't have these cast characters shown, people will be, where are they? Where are they? And of course, you know, we go Hollywood. Very big budget here at the Jim Masters Show Live. We do not spare any expense here. I mean, look at the set. Big time here. So lights, camera, and action. We're going Hollywood. And speaking of which, boy, do I have an amazing guest here on the show. Somebody who I know personally, somebody who I've seen in concert, somebody who I've had an opportunity to break bread with. And I was so excited to have an opportunity to welcome her to this show. When I asked her if she would like to be on this show, you know what? She immediately said, you tell me where and when, Jim, and I'll be there. And that's somebody that's a friend. That's somebody who's very passionate, enthusiastic, somebody who likes to communicate, somebody who truly cares about people, somebody who's empathetic. and loves what they do, like I do too in my professional work. And we are so excited. I'm going to show you the picture. Some of you may know who this fabulous person is. She's an extreme talent. She is award-winning. She's got a heart of gold. There she is. Maybe you've had an opportunity to see one of her extraordinary performances in New York and around the world. She's supposed to be going to London later in the year as well. This is Marieann Meringolo. We are so excited to have her here. She's a native New Yorker who grew up on the songs of the Great American Songbook. She has been called one of the circuit's most powerful singers. And Time Out New York claimed if Katie Lang's DNA were to get whipped together with Barbra Streisand's in a genetic lab specializing in divas, the result might well be Marieann. She is a MAC award-winning recording artist, as well as a Back Stage Bistro Award-winning winner for Outstanding Vocalist. But of course, if you've ever heard her sing, heartfelt, soulful, she puts every ounce of her DNA into every note, into every flavor of melody. BroadwayWorld.com also had a say in nominating her Alan and Marilyn Bergman show Between Yesterday and Tomorrow, which was presented at Feinstein's 54 Below as the best tribute show, and that is quite an honor. And noted by the Wall Street Journal, quote, "If you don't do it brilliantly, it isn't worth doing it." And they say that she's got this powerhouse interpretation that makes full use of dramatic Bergman lyric. She performs in New York's most celebrated venues, Feinstein's 54 Below, the Iridium, Rose Theater at Jazz, Lincoln Center. She's toured with the late comedian David Brenner, headlines on cruises around the world. She recently was inducted into New York's famed Friars Club as well. And she also received rave reviews for her 2018 album released on the Blue Jazz label, Between Yesterday and Tomorrow, the songs of Alan and Marilyn Bergman. She's just so amazing. New York music critic Will Frywald notes the music of the Bergmans, as movingly realized by Marieann, transports us to a better and more ideal world. Couldn't we use more of that right about now? Absolutely. Make sure you download her music, you get the CDs, because again, if you've not been feeling too good lately and, all the stuff that's been going on has been getting you down, she will lift you up. Her voice, the tone, just the way that she presents the words, the way she interprets everything, she's spectacular. Her critically acclaimed debut album, Hold Me Close, her award-winning second solo CD, Imagine If We Only Had Love, also rave reviews. Backstage Bistro Award and MAC Award for Outstanding CD and Recording of the Year. Her live CD DVD, Here's to the Ladies, a salute to great ladies in song, was praised as a 4-star dazzler in Cabaret Scenes magazine, and she's proud to have released her long-awaited and critically acclaimed holiday album, which had come out as well, which is phenomenal, In the Spirit. Now, Marieann's gorgeous voice is often played on radio stations and the internet around the world and has been heard on selected United Airlines flights as well as Air Force Two. She has also had the honor of performing live at the United Nations. Marieann believes we are all here for a divine purpose, to share our gifts with the world. She feels very blessed to have the opportunity to share her gifts with all of us. And I tell you, she does it so beautifully and so elegantly. Here's some more shots of her really belting it out. She's just such a soulful and heartfelt performer. When you go to one of her shows, you are getting more than the price of admission. She is just really, really somebody who cares, and she really, really loves what she does, and it just shines through. You can see it right there in her eyes. She really loves what she does, and it's my honor and my pleasure to welcome my wonderful friend Marieann to the show right now as my special guest on the Jim Masters Show Live. And there she is, Marieann. You look stunning, all sparkly. I see a piano behind you. How are you?
I'm great, Jim. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. We're having fun doing this show and doing this entertainment lifestyle talk show series, and it's been fantastic. Um, what are some of the things that you've been doing? You know, obviously, for a lot of artists, everything sort of came to an abrupt halt back in March. A lot of venues are still closed, and theaters are closed, and they're trying to figure out everything that's going on. Um, what are some of the things that you've been doing in the interim to, keep fine-tuned and to just be ready to launch whenever that time comes?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of adjusting to be done because I was just set to go on a tour, and the pandemic brought that to an end. I was depressed for a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
but then I had to get out of that depression, and people get creative, and I'm so grateful for my creative friends who step up and want to continue to bring joy to the world and bring light into the world. So we're finding another way to do it. If we can't do it in person, we're doing it like this, we're doing it virtually. And so I'm really grateful for that. It's kept me creative and excited about something. And tonight I was excited to get dressed up for you. So put on
Love it.
I was watching your show last night. You had a sparkly blazer on. I'm like, oh my God.
Yes. We were on with the Harp Twins, Camille and Kennerly Kit. They're amazing, aren't they? It was really incredible young talent. And speaking of that, for you, when did you realize you wanted to pursue, singing as a career? Did you come from a musical family?
I didn't come from a musical family. It was something that I was just drawn to naturally in school. I just was singing, and then started auditioning for the productions and entering talent shows. And it wasn't until I was 14 that my family realized I could sing. And it was in the high school talent show that I sang in. And from that point on, I felt the energy from the audience, and I knew it was something that was it. I was sold. I wanted to do, and I wanted to keep presenting that way.
So what were some of the first things that you were singing in the early years of your development?
Well, I was always in the choir in school. I was singing the alto part. And then when I started to do solo stuff, my first outing when I was 14, I did Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. And then the next year, I think I did I Don't Know How to Love Him, so all Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Right, yeah.
From there, at the time, Fame was popular, so going blank on that popular song from Fame. But and then I started going to my local theaters and became an apprentice, learned stuff backstage. And then I started auditioning for their shows, and so I was in production shows that way in the chorus. And this one particular theater in Port Jefferson, I grew up on Long Island. They had the main stage theater, and then they had they called it their second stage theater. And during the week, they would have, I believe it was Wednesday nights, they would have just an open mic type thing. So I would go there and sing. And then they asked me, they said, you should, come and audition. So there was a review going on. I auditioned for that. And that was my taste of, there were 6 of us that were cast in the show. And it was an intimate audience, maybe like 80 to 100 people in the audience. And the stage we were right on top of the audience. So I love that, seeing people's faces, that interaction, and the energy. And that, I think that was what really helped me pursue going into cabaret and singing in more intimate theaters and clubs in the city.
So do you remember that first time that you stepped foot into the city and said, okay, here we are, what that place was and that special time?
I had signed up at the time. I guess they were doing, when I was growing up, like talent contests and things like that. So I had, there was this club on the Upper East Side. I don't know if you remember, it was called Freddie's Supper Club. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So they were doing a talent show, and I didn't come in first. I came in second. And what that did was that they offered me my own night. So at that point, I had to find a pianist, which I did, and we put together a show, and it was the first time I did it, and like my whole family came, everyone from Long Island. I filled the room, and I was young. I think I was 21, something like that, young, and yeah, and then. From that point on, then the clubs that were popular at the time, a club called Jan Wallman's and Don't Tell Mama was there. It's been a staple for forever. And that's when I started just really getting my experience doing that. You know what happened to me? I thought I wanted to perform on Broadway, and of course I still would love to, but I'm not a dancer, so. A lot of times you have to be a triple threat to get your foot in the door. But I would still go on casting calls. They were like cattle calls where you weren't really asked to come to an audition, but you would just show up. And a lot of times I'd get typecast out because they were looking for a certain look. So I never even had a chance to sing. So I thought, well, I need to perform. So that's when I started developing my own shows so I could live my passion.
And how did you like that opportunity to be able to actually develop your own shows? That gives you such freedom to actually be the one who, sort of crafts it the way you want it to be and what you want to present to people.
Yeah, it was really good for me. I got positive feedback from the beginning, so it felt like I was onto something. I was open to learning and making it better. I would videotape myself a lot, so I would watch myself too and learn from that. Yeah, but it was definitely a way to grow and a way to learn how to perform in front of a live audience by just putting yourself out there and doing it.
So the feedback, obviously, that you've had has been extraordinary. What I was describing in the introduction is just like a little snippet of the accolades that you've received for, all of this incredible body of work. How do you, I mentioned how other people have described your style and your methodology and your interpretations. How do you describe the kind of singer that you are, Marieann?
I describe myself as, it's organic. It's something that I'm not a trained singer, so it's something that
it's like God-given.
God-given, and still work. Yes, absolutely God-given, and I'm so grateful. It is a gift I feel like I've been given, and I love to share it. It's not that work doesn't go into it to keep it up and keep the vocal cords working and healthy. But yeah, people have asked me, oh, do you teach? And I thought, how can I teach this? It's not like a technique. But then I did have the opportunity where I thought maybe I could share what I know. And I was doing some classes, and I was calling it the organic approach to singing. And
did you enjoy that?
I did, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it, and also what other singers were getting out of it. So it didn't. I didn't keep it going, but it's something. Maybe in the future we'll see.
That's it. Yeah, because mentoring young minds sometimes is it's a real cool thing sometimes, because you have people that come and they sort of look up to you and they're like, oh, gee, I wish I could be, like her or like him. When you were coming up the ranks, were there people that you looked up to, various singers and performers that you sort of, idolized or just really admired?
Yeah. Marie McGovern. I really love her voice. As far as on the club scene, it's funny because she was also, when I was first booked into Freddie, she was also booked in that club on the same night. Not that I got to meet her, but I did have a chance to meet her afterwards, which was really cool. Jane Oliver. A big Barbra Streisand fan, of course, but people on the cabaret scene, Ann Hampton Calloway.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of this friend of mine. He's not on really the New York scene anymore, but Philip Officer. I don't know if you knew of him.
Oh yeah.
He's in Vegas now, but I just adored his voice, and I loved the control he had. So I would listen to people I admired and say, well, I want to do that. I want to. I remember seeing Andrea Marcovici at the Algonquin, and I loved how I was just sitting there, and I loved how she can put her audience at ease, and you can just sit back and enjoy. You weren't afraid anything was going to go wrong. You just knew you were like being sung to and being taken care of there. Mm-hmm. So I learned those things going along that I want to give that to my audience. I want them to just have a good time and enjoy what the evening is all about.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when people see you perform, it's obvious, as much as they're enjoying it, you're really getting a kick out of it too. I mean, you are all in. You're 110% in. That is obvious. And that's why I say, the price of ticket, it's like they get so much more than the cost of admission to go to see one of your shows. Where do you think all of that resilience and determination and that passion comes from?
I think I'm born with it. It's just an inner fire that I don't feel alive if I'm not doing my craft, doing my art. I was, when this pandemic happened, I was not staying in the city, and with my girlfriend, we went out to LBI, Long Beach Island. Mm-hmm. And it was great to get away, but I remember she put on a video of me singing, and it was of my Bergman show, and I got hysterical crying. I was just like, oh my God. I was so emotional because I'm like, am I ever going to do this again? And then we thought, we had been quarantined for 2 months, and we said, well, it's time to go. Maybe Doyle, my musical director, will be open for us getting together, socially distancing, but at his apartment. And he was open to it. So we started rehearsing, and it got me out of my depression just by singing, not even performing, but knowing I was preparing for something, knowing that it's still going to happen. It's not the end of the world or of performing. So, but that's how important it is. It's, I need to do it.
Exactly. And people, they need to hear it too, because music is very, it's a beautiful way to communicate, but it's also got such deep healing properties too. I mean, when people have various emotions, whether it's holiday time or it's romantic or they're melancholy, whatever it is, or they're celebrating, they always turn to music, and music speaks volumes in terms of emotions, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What kind of music do you like to listen to separate from what you perform? Are there other kinds of genres that you like, Marieann?
Let's see. I've been lately listening. I love Judy Collins. I'm trying to think what else.
Like what would be in your CD player right now?
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on something right now. So lately, I've been listening to what I'm currently working on. So I'm not really, but I love Billy Joel and Sting, and I'm just trying to think who I listen to. Soothing. I love Sarah Bareilles and Broadway show music.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you do when, you're trying to come down? People probably say, well, what does somebody, I mean, obviously lately we've had all of this sort of downtime, but ordinarily with all of the busyness traditionally of a schedule like you have, with all the shows and going here and there and everywhere and greeting fans, what are some of the things that you like to do to sort of refresh, reboot, and regenerate, so then you can go back out on stage and knock it out of the park again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a day of performance. It's just sitting quiet in a more of a meditative place, and just trying to calm my nerves down. I do get pretty nervous when I sing.
You know, you wouldn't know that too. You wouldn't. You know, I was talking to a couple of people recently. I think it was David Friedman and Sean Moniker, maybe, and a couple of others. Dan Goggin, who was on the show 2 weeks ago, who created Nonsense. They were talking about like people that know you and know your music and have seen you, and maybe even people watching right now who eventually will go to see you, or they're being introduced to you for the first time, are probably surprised to hear. I mean, she's been doing it this long. She's skilled at it. She's performed at these great venues, and she still gets nervous. But I was told, and I think I'm a big believer in this, because I've even witnessed it with myself, with my own work in performance, that the day that you lose those nerves, the day that you lose those butterflies, you no longer have that passion or care about it anymore. And it's time to move on to the next thing. So the fact that you have the nerves means that you're striving for excellence, and you really care, and you really want to deliver the best you can do and be the best you can be. So the nerves, which for some people could really stop them in place and they won't walk out on that stage, the nerves, probably for you and for maybe even me, can work in your favor, because they give you that adrenaline, they give you that drive to get out there and get past the nerves and go do it, right?
Right. Yeah. At times it's pretty bad, but once I'm on the stage, it's great, and interacting with the audience, and then getting to do what I love to do. It's all worth it.
So how does it make you feel when you hear some of these accolades and some of these wonderful things that people say, from people that are in the industry and colleagues and cohorts to just the fans as well, knowing that, you're giving it your all and you're very selective about what you do, but you get these wonderful accolades. It must make you feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it really is moving to know that I'm doing something that is reaching and moving other people. I always feel that it's a give and take, just like with a live performance. So to receive that back, to receive that they've connected with something I'm doing, that it made their day better, or made them think of something differently, or my tone and my voice affected them a certain way, is pretty amazing. And I just view it as a gift that I'm so grateful for.
Do you have other members of your family that are performers as well now?
Well, my nephew, my sister's son, Michael, he's loving performing. He's 17, and he's been in his school musicals, and unfortunately the one that was supposed to happen didn't, but he's musical. He plays the saxophone and sings, and he's doing some virtual stuff too, so I'm excited. I can't wait for him to send me his videos of what he's doing. So
so do you think
my sister likes to sing too. She's never done it professionally, but she sings in her church. So
Oh, that's great. Do you think maybe one day you'll be collaborating with your nephew, with him on sax?
It's so funny. We just had a family gathering on Sunday where we were able to finally see each other. And my mother was saying, maybe you and Michael will sing together one day. I'm like, absolutely. Let's make it happen. So you never know.
Wouldn't that be cool? So again, like, for a lot of us in our different careers, different industries, things have stopped or slowed down, or we've had to change. We've had to pivot in certain different ways. What are some things that you're doing differently now that maybe you weren't doing before this whole thing happened in March?
Well,
have you cleaned a lot of closets like everybody else?
Not really, no. No, but what's happened is I've gotten a lot more tech savvy. So aside from having my own solo career, I also sing at Unity Church of New York with the singing group, Spiritus, inspirational singing group. So we've been putting, we'll record something privately, and then one of our members, Leo, he's really gotten so great technically. He's been putting videos together for us and really professional. So that's been great. And I was supposed to, when I was going to California on my tour for the Bergman show, I was also going to be stopping into the recording studio there to record one of Marcia Malamet's songs. She's putting together a beautiful album celebrating 50 years in show business.
Wow.
And, she's an incredible songwriter and really fantastic. And I just learned today, actually, we just got off the phone because we've been, so what's happening, that I thought got stopped for a while, but because of the situation we're in, we were able to keep going because of the advances in technology. So I've been working with the producer, Stefan Oberhoff, and he's been sending me tracks, and he's actually able to upload them to my computer, and then I'm able to sing, and it's been pretty incredible. So we've gotten it to the point where within the next 10 days or so, I'm going to actually be able to go into a recording studio in New York and record over the tracks that he produced in California. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, and the album is very exciting. So I'm singing one of Marcia's, it's the most beautiful song. It's called I Am Blessed. And she has other artists that are joining on the album. Ann Hampton Calloway, Sophie B. Hawkins, Rosalind Kind, Melissa Manchester.
Wow.
And I also just found out that Jane Oliver is going to be on the album, and I'm just like, I gasped when I heard that. So
what a cast there, huh?
Yeah, and that's it, and many more. So it's a beautiful body of her work. So that's an exciting project that we're all doing.
And do you love, some people like doing solo, but a lot of people love collaborating with others. Do you love collaborating with other people too? And are there other people that you've always dreamed of maybe doing duets with and collaborating with as well?
Yeah, I love collaborating with the group I sing with, where it depending on our own careers of who's in town and who's not, because we're all professional singers.
Right.
There's anywhere from 6 to 8 of us in the group, and we all perform together, and it's pretty satisfying. I used to be in the choir too. I enjoy the energy of the voices and just hearing those beautiful voices all together and blending. Doing a duet. I'm trying to think. I've sung some duets with some friends. Philip Officer and I, we did years ago. Another friend of mine, Anthony Santamo Jr., we did a duet together. I haven't recorded. Oh, and my musical director, Doyle, we sing together. So he has a fantastic voice. And actually, one of the projects that's coming up, we're going to be putting together a Facebook Live concert, which is happening next Friday on June 12th. And we're performing one of his songs, one of his original songs, and we sing together. So we haven't recorded together yet. So hopefully that'll happen.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. We've got some cool folks here. Will Nunziata is here. Hey, Will, how are you?
My director.
Yes, absolutely. And his brother, Anthony. And Austin Greenfield says, wow, a very accomplished singer. And let's see, we've got Elizabeth Listman. She says, Marieann lights up the room. Of course, absolutely. Yeah, there's a ton of comments coming in here. Yeah, a lot of people that are saying that they either know of you or they want to go see you. Marcy says, watching my darling Marieann.
Aw,
yeah, lots of
oh my God. So I was talking about Theater 3.
Yeah.
That's where we met. So I'm like 14 years old. So she's known me forever. Oh, hi, Marcy. Mwah.
Nancy Brown, too, an amazing entertainer.
Mwah.
Mm-hmm. And more from Marcy. Yeah. Our Theater 3, we were great then. You are great now.
Oh,
don't you like that? Marieann. Yeah, so Marieann Kelly says, lovely and interesting performer, telling her story in such a down-to-earth way. Yeah, Marieann is, she's down-to-earth, she's authentic, she's the real deal, and that comes through in her performances. And I think that's why people gravitate to you, because, these days there's so much buzz and bling and auto-tune and synthesize and things that aren't necessarily what they, seem to be. And there you come out on stage and you're real and authentic and engaging and warm and funny and affable and all those things that I think people really are looking for more than ever. Let's see. Christopher Joseph says he sung at Don't Tell Mamas. He was with a group called the New Love Express out in Ohio. And our dear friend, Ralph Lampkin Jr. Fabulous Jim and Marieann. So grateful to you, Jim. I might go down a couple of notches. You think my low voice is strong? And that's a great taste, good female singers. Absolutely. And let's see, we've got here June Rachelson Aspa. Hi, just got here. Do you know June at all? She's a lyricist and author. She lives in Manhattan as well, dear friend. Love the interview with author Oliver Swartz. And let's see, Ralph Lampkin says Marsha Malamet.
Yeah, that's the album we're doing, Marsha Malamet.
That's it, mentioned that. And Stephen Oberhoff is mentioned as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, Christopher says you give a much better performance when you're excited, of course. Again, he's a performer as well. And thumbs up from Ralph. Fantastic show, Jim and Marieann. And everybody's loving the interview. That's terrific. That's great. You also want to treat us to a little song or so, huh?
Did I say that?
A little thing got whispered in my headphones prior to going on.
Let's see.
If you're just joining us, everybody, I'm your host, Jim Masters, and you're watching Jim Masters Live. We're here 7 nights a week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on Facebook and YouTube at Jim Masters TV.
Well, let's see how this works.
Hey.
I don't have my pianist with me, but I have a track recorded, a piano track, and a song that is based on faith, and I guess maybe we could use a little bit of that going through these tough times we're all going through. So,
right.
Luck
and Carol Eastman says, "Love you, MM." So there's a little encouragement for you.
Hey, Carol, we've never met, but she lives in California. So, hey, Carol, thank you.
Darren Varden, so proud of you, dear friend. Marieann, I have seen her perform for over 10 years. Never missed her annual holiday show.
He's a dear friend. Thank you, Darren.
And Stephen and I are on the edge of our seats. Paul is here as well. Montefusco. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see everybody here. We hope you'll make this a regular part of your diet. We're here 7 p.m. live every night with all kinds of great guests, like our wonderful Marieann. And Margie Morris. Hi, Jim and Marieann as well. Nice to see you, Margie. I mean, the comments, it's tough keeping up. We have tons of comments coming in. It's wonderful to see.
Oh, nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jim.
It's my pleasure.
Really. And your energy, is really beautiful. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm so happy to have you here. And Margie says she's watching from beautiful Boca Raton right now. Not a bad place to be. Boca Raton. All right.
All right. You ready for a song?
Yes. Live on stage from the home studio.
Yeah.
Marieann Meringolo.
Life can be so good. Life can be so hard. Never knowing what each day will bring to where you are. And sometimes I forget, and sometimes I can't see that whatever comes my way will be with me. My life is in your hands. My heart is in your keeping. I'm never without hope, not when my future is with you. My life is in your hands, and though I may not see clearly, I will lift my voice and sing, 'cause your love does amazing things. God, I know my life is in your hands. Nothing is for sure. Nothing is for keeps. All I know is that your love will live eternally. So I will find my rest, and I will find my peace, knowing that you'll meet my every need. My life is in your hands. My heart is in your keeping. I'm never without hope, not when my future is with you. My life is in your hands, and though I may not see clearly, I will lift my voice and sing, 'cause your love does amazing things. God, I know my life is in your hands. When I'm at my weakest, oh, you carry me. Then I become my strongest in your hands. My life is in your hands, and though I may not see clearly, I will lift my voice and sing, 'cause your love does amazing things. God, I know my life is in your hands. I trust in you. My life is in your hands.
Stunning, stunning. I'm sure everybody at home is clapping, if not standing ovation. Yeah, huh?
Okay, now we can toast. I can drink a little
Yeah.
wine.
Oh, yes. I told we always do a. Oh, you did it. You drank yours before the host. Wow, you earned it. You sing for your
So sorry.
self-research drink, your libations. Yeah.
Oh, my
Here we
God.
go. Here's
Cheers.
our toast. Let's see if we can do it without spilling it on our computer.
Oh.
Clang. We always do a toast with our guests.
Oh,
And
that's
when we don't have guests, we toast as well. That was absolutely beautiful. And again, the comments are coming in. Some of them are brand new people who are watching from around the world. We welcome everybody. We're here 7 p.m. live every night. I signed up for every night. What? I got to refigure my contract here. Every night, 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific. and on the Jim Master Show Live. And a dear friend of mine, Joyce Logan, says, well, Margie says cheers, and Joyce says, well, you know what it is? There's so many comments coming in. I'm having trouble keeping up with them here. This is great. Marieann, your beautiful voice evokes so many memories. That's Bradley Bing.
Aw, hi, Bradley. And
Austin Greenfield says, wow, it's beautiful singing. And June Rachelson Aspa says, much needed. Marcy Bing, smooth as glass, the beautiful voice. And oh boy, I got to scroll back up. Wow, these things are really, we get a lot of comments on this show. We get a lot of good, solid, we've got a lot of great people that follow us. Wow. Simply beautiful. Thank you. Dear friend Joyce says, what a lovely treat. Thank you. Marieann and Jim, you're very welcome, Joyce. I hope you're enjoying it. And Margie, if you've got your glass, you can toast with us as well. We say cheers. And
any excuse to take a sip. It's okay.
That's right. I've got to finish the glasses, right? And what do you have? You said it's a Chardonnay? Chardonnay, yeah.
Chardonnay, it's called bread and butter Chardonnay. It's very smooth. It's great for the voice.
Yeah, the bread and butter sounds really good. I've heard of bread and butter pickles, but not
my system. I can loosen up a little bit. I was, like I said, I get nervous. You know, I was pretty nervous.
But you're in good hands. Like I said, I'm easy. Standing ovation.
So wonderful.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Carol Eastman says standing ovation. And more coming in. I love, this is a very interactive show. I love to be interactive with the viewers, to bring them in here. Austin Greenfield says, wow, that is beautiful singing. More coming in from wonderful people. Marcia Malamet, Brava, darling. That is beautiful. Yes. Yeah, she's here. She is tuned.
Wait for her album to come out. It's gonna be epic. The whole thing. It's just
gonna look forward to that.
All of her songs, just gorgeous, gorgeous.
Nancy Brown, my favorite singer. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's beautiful as well. And Marianne Kelly says beautiful singing as well. Again, it's there's more. Grace Ornato, that was beautiful, Marianne.
My cousin Grace. Hi,
That's your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, Grace, nice to see you.
Thank you. She has oh my God, she has an amazing voice, my cousin.
And I see she's got a little cutie there too with her.
Yeah. Yes, she has a little new baby, Adriana. Gorgeous. Thank you.
Ah, look at that. Yeah. What a voice. And Paul Martafusco, amazing sound. I concur. Yeah. I mean, it's like, say you don't even have to be.
Jim, you're warming me up for my online concert, which I've never done before.
It's the first time.
Just for online. So that's going to be next Friday, 8:30 p.m., Friday, June 12th. And I'm happy because I was able to collaborate in a different way with my director. We haven't seen each other, Will Nunziata. It's basically over the phone.
Everybody's all right.
FaceTimed.
Social distancing, yeah.
So we were able to do the show over FaceTime and put it all together, helping me with the order and the pattern and just the direction of the show. And then Doyle and I are getting together, social distancing when we rehearse. And so, you just have to get creative and make this situation work.
Everybody,
people still want to be entertained and people still want to entertain.
Right, exactly.
So,
Everybody's.
That's why your show was born too.
Yeah, like I said, I do all of this for a living, and and so many people for the longest time have told me to do this. But I'm always, again, on planes, or I'm always on TV shoots or in the studios or whatever, all over the country, and if not beyond, with my work in television and radio. And then I just said, what the heck, we built this set here and got all the equipment, and then used some of my television background and sort of put it all together. And it's been a work in progress. It continues to grow, continues to be tweaked, because like you with your work, I'm the same way. Everything has to be a certain way. It's got to be presented a certain way. And I like to, what this is allowing me to do too, is because it's my thing, it's the Jim Masters Show Live, it is allowing me to express even more of myself with the audience, because it's not me as the host of the thing over there, or me as the host of a lifestyle travel show, or a special on PBS, or news program, or any other type of show, fitting it within that particular format. We're building this and creating this to whatever we want it to be, and it's free flowing and it's fun, and it's we have all these different segments and different people involved. And I mean, on Mother's Day, I did a whole thing because my folks, the family, they're in Florida, so we couldn't get on a plane for Mother's Day or Easter or the birthdays. So over in the dining room, we set up I alerted the audience, the viewers. I said, we're going to do a Mother's Day Sunday brunch with Jim. So we cooked a whole Sunday brunch, and I sat at the table talking to the viewers and was, sampling all the different foods for the Sunday brunch. Because Mom's in Florida, we couldn't go see her because the planes are all, down for the count. And it was terrific. So we're doing all kinds of different stuff, and it's, I'm loving it. You know what I mean? It's very freeing. It's really cool. And people told me a long time to do it, and I'm glad I did. It's our 5th week. And like I've told the people that have been on, there's a select group of people that I had already in my mind that I wanted to have on the show in its early stages that, means something to me, or they've touched me through their work. And that's what we've been having. And that's why, when we spoke to Ralph, our mutual friend and buddy, and knowing you, as long as I have, when it all came together, I was very excited to have you here. Because you are the real deal. Because you're the real deal. You're authentic, and there's no airs about you. You just want to perform and do your passion and please the people and give them hope and joy, especially now more than ever. Just like what you just sang for us. That was really moving. That was very beautiful, and it moves you too to do it, doesn't it? Yeah. And that's what it's all about. We got some more comments coming in here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's a great Mother's Day brunch. She was watching. Yes, and we ate it all as well. So that's coming up, you said, on Friday?
June 12th.
June 12th at 8:30. So that's great. So I'll try to plug it on my show here because I'm on from 7 to 8. So they can go from 7 to 8 here. Sometimes we go a little past that. We have so much fun, but 7 to 8, and then they can go over to you, and they'll be all primed and ready to go and enjoy the show. Will it be about an hour or so, or however long?
An hour and change. Not maybe 70 minutes, I'm thinking. We had a rehearsal just the other day, and it ran about 70, and it felt really good. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what this pandemic brought out of me to want to express, to want to perform. So I'm tapping into songs I haven't sung in a while, songs I've been doing for a while, and just songs that are touching me in a new way, just because of all this time we've had to be by ourselves and reflect. Right. So it's amazing that, music and lyrics do that for you. You can hear a song a million times, and then for me, it's whatever situation I'm in, it's how I relate to music. That's why I also like the Bergman music for me. As many times as I've done that show, and that's the show I'm hoping I get to go to London to perform. Every time I sing that music, it's like singing it for the first time because their lyrics are so rich, and they just tell a story and take you on a journey. And that's what I love to do. And I feel like I'm living it for the first time as I'm singing it.
Yeah. And that's amazing to have that sort of connection with music, isn't it? Like you're living it as you're singing it. It's not like you just were handed a song and just go out there and do it. You're actually feeling the depth and meaning of the actual, the words and the meaning of that particular song and interpreting it that way. That's again, I think that's also why people respond to you in the way that they do, because they know that you're really all in, which is a beautiful thing. When you look at this body of work and you look at your life's work, which is what it is, Marieann, what are some of the things that give you the greatest blessing and joy from all of these years that you've put in, the toil, the blood, sweat, and tears, the craftsmanship, the artistry of it all? When you look at it, what are some of those things that continue to bring you the greatest blessing and joy in all of this work? A call from the agent that says you're booked?
I don't even know how to turn that off.
That's all right.
Wait, let me just give me 1 second.
Hello, it's Mom.
Hello?
You didn't call me. It's your mother. You got to call me. What are you doing talking on the air with Jim Masters? I told you to call me.
I don't know.
That's probably my mother.
Okay. Oh my God, I've gotten so tech savvy. I figured out how to mute the ring. It's like
Mute the ring.
the ring.
I was going to say, Saved by the Bell with that question, huh?
Exactly.
What brings you the greatest joy and blessing when you look
Yeah.
at it all?
When I look at it all, sometimes I'll listen. First of all, I'm so grateful I was given this gift, and I'm grateful that my voice works. I'm grateful that when I wake up in the morning, I have a voice. I mean, I'll say this, I never, knock wood, rarely ever get sick. But there was one time when I really remember I couldn't sing and I was devastated. It was so foreign to me to not be able to use my voice. So
Right.
any day that I know I can sing, it's the reason to be here. It really is for me. And there's also times when I'll hear something I've done and I forget I can do that. I don't know why. It's just if I haven't been on stage in a while too, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I do this. So that's what's really important about keeping up your craft and keeping up. Even if we're having some downtime, to just keep performing, keep it going, because it's easy to slip into to lose your confidence. So I'm grateful for my faith. I'm grateful for knowing I have that to fall back on, to know that my angels and God is with me no matter where I go. And to me, that is a gift from God, and that's mainly what I'm truly grateful for.
It's what drives you, and so sort of like you're a conduit. You've got energy from elsewhere, and it passes through you, and it comes out you, and people connect. It's very deep. It really is very inspiring and we love inspiration and empowerment here on this show. And it's very, and you are truly an inspiration. You are unique. You're really one of a kind. You're not like a cookie cutter mold, you're just a breath of fresh air, really. And I think that's why we've had all these comments tonight. And I think why people clamor to go see you is because of the fact that you are authentic and you really do care, and you're very empathetic, and you live these songs as if you're there at the time, but there's also so much of you coming out in the songs blended in with what the songwriter initially intended. There's elements of Marieann in the music as well, isn't there?
That's beautifully put. Thank you. It's really nice.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, it was a joy having you here, and remind us. So that is coming up on the 12th, 8:30.
Sure.
We'll look for that as well on Facebook. And if people want to get your music, things of that nature, they can go to the websites and.
MariannMerigolo.com. There are links there for my albums. I'm also on CD Baby and iTunes and Spotify. Wherever music is sold, you can find me.
That's it. No more Record World or Tower Records. It's all the other online now. It's big. It's huge. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Marieann, this was really a joy, and I really, really thank you so very much for taking time. Is there anything that you want to leave us with in terms of maybe a message for folks right now that are, you had mentioned that you were getting down in the dumps a little bit and you were able to lift yourself out of it. And there might be people watching right now who are stuck in the down in the dumps period with all, as soon as they turn the TV on, the world seems like it's ending. Anything that you'd like to say to somebody watching, maybe to lift them up a little bit?
Well, I would say keep the faith in good people. Don't ever lose that. We know there are bad people, but there are good people too. And if we focus on those people and the goodness in yourself, know that energy is really doing something, and changing, it does change the world, and it does, out of bad things, good things happen. So just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we will get through this. We really will. And we'll get through it together, because it's going to be the good and love that lifts everyone to a higher place, the higher place we need to be. We don't want to go back. We want to go forward, and we want to go forward enlightened and better. So just, whenever you're down, just know, I've been down, and I knew we always have an opportunity where that changes. You never stay in that one place where you're stuck. And to know that. And so if you can just think of the times when you were stuck or felt stuck, and then here you are, you made it through. So we're going to make it through, and just hold on to that.
That's beautifully said. That is absolutely beautifully said. And I second that emotion, Marieann. You're a beautiful person, a beautiful soul, so heartfelt, and I'm so honored to have you here, my friend, on my show. And it's sort of infancy here, the 5th week. We hope to have you back. You're welcome here anytime you want to come. Yeah, the door is always open. The mics are always on. The lights are always on for you. And thanks for spending the time with us, and thanks for being the friend that you are. You're an amazing person, and I'm so happy to have you in my world.
Well, right back at you. Thank you so much, Jim. Really.
You are very welcome.
Thank you.
You take care. You keep smiling. Keep the faith, and we'll be there for that concert on the 12th as well.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care. Thanks for joining us. All right. We'll see you again. Isn't she amazing? Oh, yes. Marieann is one of those special people that you get a chance to come across in your life that, leaves an impression on you. And she's just extraordinary. And again, I encourage you to go, online. You can see she's on Spotify, and she's a CD Baby and everywhere else. And more comments coming in. Wonderful show, Jim's spectacular performance. Marieann, heartfelt. You're very welcome, Margie Morris. We welcome you to be here. We do a lot of shows similar. Everything is positive. And again, I say the show is all about light and levity and love. We have a lot of fun here with our cast of characters, and we have a lot of special guests. We've got some extraordinary guests that are coming up as well. Very excited to share with everybody all the guests that are coming up. And then we do all kinds of cool segments too, even when there's no guests. We're here 7 p.m. Eastern, live every night. Did I sign up for that? Every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on Facebook at Jim Masters TV and YouTube at Jim Masters TV. If you want, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. You can go back and see the entire archive of all the shows that we've done the last 5 weeks, and some really fantastic guests. We had Renee Nesbitt from Celtic Woman and Rocktopia. We had Dan Goggin from Broadway, from Nonsense. Oh my God, we've had so many people. We've had Liz Kiefer, who is a phenomenal actress, who was in Happy Days, 21 Jump Street, Lou Grant, 17 years on Guiding Light. She's a dear friend. She was with us a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. Guiding Light and Days of Our Lives and One Life to Live and The Young and the Restless. She was in all of them. We had this amazing guitarist who's had 2 PBS specials named Pavlo. He was a guest here too. He was amazing. He's got another PBS special that he's going to be filming. They were supposed to film it in June. They're filming it in Santorini, Greece, in August. And so much more. We appreciate all these great comments. Thank you for a lovely experience sharing your talent, both of you. Marcy, it's a blessing to have you here. We're both, Marieann and I are very communicator-oriented, we're communal, so we love to bring people together. Thank you. Loved it. I will be watching. Thank you very much. And I'm going to show you some of the fabulous as well. Another great show. Thank you very much. Going to share with you guys some of the amazing people that are coming up. Of course, we thank our wonderful guest, Marieann Meringolo. She is just extraordinary. And again, even on the spot like that, to do that performance in the way that she did, extraordinary. Coming up tomorrow, I have 2 very special guests joining me. 2 guests tomorrow. We have the extraordinary Hillary Rollins. She is a spectacular, she's a performer, but she's also an award-winning producer. And there's an amazing thing we're going to be sharing, a special piece of music we're going to be sharing along with Michelle Browerman. And the two of them are going to be on, and she's an extraordinary singer and songwriter herself, and they've collaborated on a lot of wonderful things. And the two of them are in California, and both of them are going to be guests on the Jim Masters Show live tomorrow night. We invite you to join us tomorrow night because, again, they're going to be here and it's going to be spectacular. That's tomorrow night, the 3rd of June. We have lyricist, playwright, TV writer, and essayist Hillary Rollins and award-winning singer-songwriter Michelle Browerman. They're going to be here as well. Also, some more spectacular guests coming up. 4 more guests just booked today. We have this brilliant actress that's joining us, Clara Francesca. She was so excited to be here on the show. As soon as I mentioned I was doing the show, everybody just wanted to hop on the show. People I know in music and television and film and all the different industries, but just people themselves have just said they've wanted to be on. This award-winning guitarist, John LaBarbera, he's performed at some of the most incredible concert halls, and he plays every kind of string you can think of, from the bouzouki to a regular guitar, acoustic, electric, everything. He's extraordinary. He's going to be here too. Kip Sturgeon is another brilliant musician that's going to be here as well. My dear friend who I've had an opportunity to work with many years, Tim Janis, will be joining us at some point as well. And we worked in Maine on a special with him for public television and the crew. Mark Vitale is going to be joining us as well. He was Jesus and Jesus Christ Superstar, brilliant Broadway performer, singer, dancer, you name it. And Screen Actors Guild television, film, and commercial actor Dwight Turner is also going to be joining us here on the program. Very excited to have Dwight with us as well. On Thursday night of this week, brilliant saxophonist Mike Casey is going to be here. Special guest. That's this Thursday on the Jim Masters Show Live. Mike Casey is going to be here live. He's got a new album coming out tomorrow. Very excited about that. So we booked him for Thursday so we can share some of that with you here on the show. He's a brilliant saxophonist. Then we have more. This is Paul Green. He's an award-winning Canadian actor and singer and musician. I've worked with him many times at Carnegie Hall with Tim Janis's holiday concerts. But if you watch Lifetime Movie Network, he's in a lot of the Lifetime Movie Network specials, especially at holiday time. He's a brilliant actor. He's a great guy. Again, he's an actor, he's a singer, he's a musician, guitarist. And if you watch the Lifetime Network, especially around holiday time, you always see him in all those holiday specials. Then we're very excited to have Mike Reiss. Mike Reiss is a television writer. He is also a producer and writer for The Simpsons. That's right, the long-running Simpsons. He's going to be here Monday night. That's exciting. This just developed maybe about an hour and a half ago that Mike Reiss, the legendary television writer and also producer and writer for The Simpsons, God, years and years they've been on TV. He's going to be here as well, and I'm very excited about that as well. And then a legend in the health and wellness field coming up is Dr. Bernie Siegel. Health and wellness and healing and inspiration and empowerment. I just got off the phone with him earlier today, and he's going to be with us very soon, just a couple weeks. And then this fine gentleman, Lionel Ketchian, he created several years ago this extraordinary organization and club called the Happiness Club. And they do these incredible meetings, and now they're doing a lot of Zoom meetings in as well. And it really is all about putting a smile on your face and being happy and living a happy life. But there's all these different things and components that go along with it. And he's going to explain it more deeply for us here. But he's going to be joining us as well. And we are booked almost to the end of the month with folks who want to hop on the Jim Masters Show live, which I'm totally blessed by. And again, over the weekends, when we sometimes don't have guests, we do all kinds of fun food segments. Sometimes I take you out on location. We go to some really cool places. We film on location, and then we bring it back here to the home studio, and then we share it with you here on the program as well. We always try to be engaging. Like here, we were out at the ocean. Just the ocean for me just calls me. I swim and surf and boogie board and walk the ocean. I grew up on the coast, love the ocean. So the ocean speaks volumes to me. And again, if you want to see past episodes of these shows, there's a bevy of them on YouTube at the Jim Masters TV channel. Just go right there and click on them. You'll see we had humorist and stress management expert. It was hilarious. Loretta LaRoche, she's had multiple public television specials. I interviewed her twice on public television. And she was a riot then, and she was a riot when she was here on the show. And you can go back and you can search for that as well. A whole host of great shows in the archives there at youtube.com/Jim Masters TV. And also they're all here on Facebook at Jim Masters TV as well. So more comments coming in. Wow, I tell you, keeping up with this. I love it too, because I love the interactivity. This was fabulous. Another great show. Thank you very much, Martha in Michigan, and Kathleen, the Queen of Queens, New York. Thank you very much. She was our viewer of the week. We celebrate our viewers here on the show as well. And she was our viewer of the week. Just 2 weeks ago, we celebrated, devoted the show to Kathleen. And let's see, Nancy Brown, you have a wonderful way with people, Jim. Thank you very much. Maybe because of maybe the family upbringing, or I'm a Libra, so we like balance and harmony. We loathe injustice. We see both sides of a question. A couple of people have said I operate from a higher consciousness. I'm a high-level empath, and I'm intuitive. A number of people have said that I've interviewed that are in that sort of line of work. So maybe some of that plays. I care about people, I think, and hopefully that shows in the work I do professionally, and even what I'm doing here with this show. I love the show. Marieann is so talented. Love her voice. Kathleen Nelson Hancock, I concur. You're spot on with that. And I welcome you to the show. It's a treat to have you here. A lot of you are discovering the show as well. You got it, Joyce. Absolutely. Paul Green is a Hallmark star. He's always on Hallmark, Lifetime. I think he might be on Hallmark even more, especially at Christmas time. But he's also a brilliant singer and guitarist. And we met when I have been doing, it's been several years now, emceeing at Carnegie Hall in New York, the big, huge holiday concert that our dear friend Tim Janis, the composer that I've known for years since I interviewed him on public television. We've all, I stay friends with a lot of the people that I either work with, colleagues, people I interview, people that I just come across. We always stay friends for a long time. And Paul is one of them. And Paul and I just spoke today, and he wants to hop right on. He says, let's do this. And he's going to be on next week. We're solidifying the date. It might be Wednesday, but he's going to be here next week. He's all excited about it. And I, appreciate him hopping on. A lot of people just want to hop on, and all these sound great. Yeah. Kathleen, I tell you, the show is just building and growing, and that's cool. I really appreciate everybody, and sharing the links. If you share the links, that's a bonus, because that exposes the show to many more people. Because again, we do a whole host of different segments, and you got to see Loretta LaRoche, that fun segment. It was really funny. We started that show about 10 minutes late. We usually start at 7. We started at about 10 after 7 because behind the scenes, you didn't know this, but she didn't realize she had to download Google Chrome. So she's on the phone to me, and she's hilarious with her sense of humor. What the hell is this with this Google Chrome? And my Mac isn't understanding the browser, and I hate all this, and what's going on? And she's hilarious. She's got a dry sense of humor because she's a humorist and the stress management expert. So she specializes in not fretting about the things in life that sort of make us fret. And it was very, very funny. And she was on almost 2 hours. Some of the guests have been on for 2 hours. We've had Liz Kiefer from Guiding Light and Days of Our Lives. She was here about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Tony LoBianco, the unbelievable dear friend of mine. Matter of fact, his wife, Elise LoBianco, is coming up at the end of the month. She is very, very empowering, and she does a lot of spiritual work and inspirational work. And dear friends, Tony LoBianco was on 2 weeks ago. He was on for Memorial Day. We did a very special, meaningful Memorial Day broadcast. Tony LoBianco, of course, is a veteran television and movie actor. He was in The French Connection. He was on Police Story and so much more. And we spent a good almost 2 hours with Tony here on the show, and it was great. And Paul Green as well. Yeah, he's terrific, and he'll be here. I think it's going to be next week. I will announce it. We're looking at probably Wednesday, I think, that it's going to be happening. So you just keep posting, because I post the links in advance. We try to give you advance notice of some of the themes to the shows, some of the episodes. Even if there's no guests, we do all kinds of cool things here at the show, since it's an entertainment lifestyle talk show. So we do a lot of different things. And sometimes we just do viewer interaction. We talk to all of you back and forth. How you're feeling? What are you up to? What's troubling you? What are some of the things? You know, we've been doing that a lot lately too, especially now. You know, probably as soon as we wrap this show up and you turn your TV on, you're going to see all kinds of stuff that seems like a science fiction movie. And we've been dealing with that. You know, it's 2020 is really an extraordinary year with the start of the new decade. And a lot of people think it's a reset. I do think it's a reset. I really think it is a reset. I think that maybe Mother Nature, Earth, and Divine Above just weren't liking the way we were operating. There's road rage, and people weren't friendly, and everybody was complaining about it. Weren't they complaining that nobody says hi and thank you and please, and nobody has any empathy or kindness anymore? Everybody was complaining about it, but nothing was happening. And then this comes. The pandemic, the economy, the civil unrest. I mean, it's really the whole kitchen sink. We got a lot of things to work through. The key is working through them together. That's the key. Regardless of your income level or your gender or your religion or the zip code you live in or what car you drive or any of that stuff, we all bleed red and we all need each other. We truly do need each other. We were placed on this planet to work and collaborate and to assist one another and support one another. And as I always say here on the show, if you watch, you know, we always toast to you and you. I always start the show that way, and I always wrap the show that way. And we always show George Burns and the Jeannie bottle and Silver the dog and Jimmy the clown for some light and levity. I always say that even though I'm the star of the show as the host, I think all of you are the stars because you're there. Each one of you is a star. You're valuable and you're important. I may have the host title, but you're just as important because you're there. And relax, breathe and relax. If you can breathe, pause. That's something we weren't doing pre all of the stuff that's been going on. We haven't been breathing. We've been moving really fast. And now we've been forced to breathe and stop and pause and reflect and clean those closets and check in with the family and friends and social distance. You know, what's odd is we were social distancing before we were told we had to social distance because we had our heads in our cell phones. Everybody was stuck on hours of social media. People weren't getting together like they used to. And people were always saying, nobody gets together like they used to. You go to a diner, 4 people at the same booth, and everybody's on the cell phone. And now we have to social distance, and nobody likes it. So it's a little taste of maybe, you know, hopefully, like Marieann said, hopefully, and that's why I wanted her to give a positive message at the end, which she did beautifully. You know, I'm not looking for us to go back to normal because normal wasn't that hot. I'm hoping that we go to better. And the only way that happens through everything that you're seeing on your TV and all of the stuff that's happening is if we sort of band together and we try to inspire each other and empower each other as much as we can. I try to do it through all of my work. I do it even when I'm off the air. It's just at the essence of who I am. I like to help people. I mean, even during this whole pandemic situation, we brought food to people who needed it and supplies. You do whatever you can, you know, whenever you can. But hopefully you guys are okay and your family and loved ones are okay. Mine are good, which is nice to hear. And don't forget to relax and to breathe. We will be here tomorrow night with Hillary Rollins, the award-winning producer, as well as Michelle Browerman. And that's going to be an extraordinary show. They're both in California, so we're going to have two guests, and we have a very special musical, a very moving, inspirational presentation that they have, that they're going to be sharing with us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show live. And I really, really appreciate that. Gang, you're the best. Love you all. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here in our home studio here. And one of my friends, Maggie, who was with HGTV, she said, I like your set. It's very trippy. She said, no, she was watching, I think, last Saturday or something. You guys, you have a good night. You take care. Be good to each other. I bid you all the very, very best. I thank you very much for being with us here on the show. You're a blessing. You're a delight. 7 p.m. Eastern. Every single night we are here, 4 p.m. Pacific, and spread the word, share the links, try to have watch parties if you want. If you want to be inspired, you want to have some fun, again, light and levity and love is what this show is all about. Then all you have to do is be here with us. And we thank you very much for, doing everything you're doing, because I know you're telling everybody. We've been getting people from all around the world joining us here on the show. And I also want to say a very special thanks to good friends at LMG, Lampkin Music Group, who also assisted us this evening as well. We really appreciate their efforts and a blessing as well. So we appreciate them, and we tip our hat to them as well. And more good things coming our way. Again, so many people want to be on the show, and that's a real blessing. And again, we salute the viewers too, because we do Viewer of the Week. We pick a lucky viewer, and then we celebrate them during the course of one of the shows. We usually do that on the weekend. So you never know, maybe one of you will be our next Viewer of the Week. All right, guys, you take care. More comments coming in, last minute comments here. Have a wonderful night. You too, Kathleen, the Queen of Queens, New York. And Joyce Logan. Bye, Jim. Great show. Thank you very much, Joyce. I appreciate that. Love you as well. And everybody tell your friends we'll be here for you as long as you're there. We're here as well. All right, we're going to sign off. I'm not a good goodbye person. My goodbyes take like 10 minutes, but we mean only the best. You take care. Love you all. It's a blessing to have you here. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Jim Masters Show live on Facebook. Oh, there's one more comment coming in. Somebody want to say goodbye? Yes. Ralph Lampkin. Got to get that one in. Thanks, Jim. Thrilled to be involved. Thank you, sir. Appreciate all your efforts and time as well. Dear friend as well in Indiana. That's right. And another one coming in. I'm shooting for Viewer of the Year. Kathleen, absolutely. If you can still get me those hot dogs at Citi Field during my Mets games, you will be Viewer of the Decade, of the century. You already are, Kathleen. You're a dear friend. Kathleen and I actually, we were in the studio audience. We were on set at Rachel Ray. We got a chance to go to the Rachel Ray show, and that was a lot of fun. She invited me to go, and then we had lunch after, and it was a day in the city, and she's a dear friend, and it was really cool being on set there with Rachel. She's a real hoot, Rachel Ray. She's been doing a lot of stuff taped and out of her house with her husband as well. Carol Eastman, thank you very much. Appreciate all of the goodbyes and all the support and love. Again, spread the word. We are here every night. We've been here. This is our 5th week, and it's truly a blessing. You guys take care. Love you all. Be well, be good to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow night right here on the Jim Masters Show. All right. See you later. Have a good night.